Alright. Now, to get into this Lantern Rite event. No, not this one. The first one. The total logins. May fortune find you. This is the fourth Lantern Rite that we, Genshin Impact players, have experienced thus far. The first was in 2021, the next was in 2022, the third was in 2023, and now the fourth one in 2024. And each year, if I recall, the rewards of May Fortune Find You have been the same. Now, I would think that MiHoYo, being a Chinese company, would want to honor the Chinese New Year, or Lunar Year, I'm not sure which it is, since that's the beginning of their new year. You know, new opportunities, new, maybe make new acquaintances, maybe have new fortunes, maybe new blessings. Everything's new in the new year, just as it is here in the United States. We celebrate the new year on January 1st. However, I, being a Genshin Impact player here in the United States, that's where I've lived all my life, really do enjoy this game. And it kind of hurts. I mean, I can understand what the Chinese players are going through because I've heard about it. Boy, have I heard about it many times. And, you know, the previous time that I am aware of, MiHoYo went out of their way to make good on their promise to service the Chinese player base better. I'm probably phrasing that wrong. Was in 2021 when Zhongli was released, and his abilities, or kit, whichever you want to say, was underwhelming. He, being the Lord of Geo, you know, the equivalent to the Chinese, basically the in-game Chinese god, that kind of thing. He was weak. I remember wishing for him because I thought that my account back in 2021 needed a boost, a power boost, and I believe it did. And so I wished for him, and when I got him, I too was underwhelmed because I thought, my gosh, this dude is weak. Because I had farmed, I'd gotten all the materials, right? Or at least I remember I'd gotten a good artifact set, because I believe the artifact set that I have on him now is the same artifact set that I had on him in 2021. I mean, that's not bad. You know, crit rate 64% over 141.7% crit damage. And I have on him a 3-piece Archaic Petra with 2 other pieces that are just, they're good pieces. by themselves. Well, they're not exactly great pieces. They're good pieces, but they're not great pieces. But he's always done his job. But this year, this is the fourth Lantern Rite. And I would think that MiHoYo could do better by now, since, and if you've made it this far in the video, then you know what I'm going to say. Since MiHoYo has this other game called Honkai Star Rail, which I do not play, but I have heard of multiple times, and I've also heard that with each patch Honkai Star Rail releases, they are given a free 10 pull. I'm not sure what the currency is in Honkai Star Rail, but for us Genshin Impact players, it would be, Intertwined Fates. And I also heard that in the latest patch for Honkai Star Rail, they were given an extra 10 pulls. So 20 pulls in all, and we Genshin Impact players get 10 pulls out of a year free. One is during the anniversary, which is in September, late September, and the other is during now, when Lantern Rite comes around in February. So that's pretty sad. Not to mention that Honkai Star Rail's players are gifted with lots of other goodies, as I've heard. I've also heard that game is not yet even a year old. I remember when Genshin Impact came out. I loved it. Not because of rewards, but because of the scenery in Mondstadt. It was just so beautiful. The characters were wonderful, in my opinion. But I also remember the first year, we did not get a lot of rewards for our playing, and that's fine. It was the first year. I didn't expect the parent company to give us anything. I was taken aback by when I started the game, and I sort of remember getting all those promo gems just on that first day when I logged in. But since then, we loyal Genshin Impact players who have been playing since September 28th, 2020, have not received the type of generosity that Honkai Star Rail players are getting in their first year. Now, I realize that probably both games have different project managers, people who oversee the content of the games and what's put into the game and what's not put into the game. I realize that. However, since they're both from the same parent company, I would think, and maybe it's just my limited mind, I would think that the one game, Genshin Impact, which has garnered MiHoYo so much popularity in these few years, would be treated better than they have been, because I can't help it. Every time, it seems like ever since roughly, this is February 5th, ever since about, I would say, all of this Genshin Impact drama regarding the rewards for Lantern Rite began, I have been seeing ads on YouTube videos for Honkai Star Rail's offer of if you start playing Honkai Star Rail now, you will get a free 5-star character called Dr. Ratio, which I've heard is a very powerful character. Now, I know how the YouTube algorithm works, or at least how it used to work. It takes the information of which content that a person watches and shows them ads related to that content. For example, prior to all of this stuff about the 2024 Lantern Rite starting, I saw ads for Genshin Impact on the videos that I watch, because primarily on YouTube I watch Genshin Impact videos. Then, when all of this drama started, and I understand why it did start, and I understand the concerns of everyone involved, I saw no more ads for Genshin Impact, no ads for this year's Lantern Rite. I saw ads for Honkai Star Rail's Dr. Ratio, the free 5-star character. So there is a disconnect somewhere, and this is just part of it. The rewards. I mean, there's much more, but that's not that stuff I don't want to concentrate on right now. I know that me as a player in the United States, I don't deserve anything. And playing the game is something that I love very much, and there's a few characters that keep me playing this game, and I'll show you just who they are. These three. Well, also I have to remember one other character as well. Eula from Mondstadt. Klee from Mondstadt, who is now Constellation 6 Klee. The Almighty Raiden Shogun from Inazuma, who is C2. And the Strategist from Watatsumi Island, the Divine Priestess Sangonomiya Kokumi. She is C0, but she is such a powerful character. I love these characters because they have just such great personality. That's what got me playing this game, was the characters. And I can even remember which ones, because it was in 2020 that I went to the Google Play Store and I was searching up, a new game to play. And I saw this ad for a game called Genshin Impact. And there was these 4 figures standing in front of this castle. And they were Jean Gunhilder, the acting Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius. Kaya Albrecht, also a Knight of Favonius. Amber, the Last Outrider. And Lisa Mincy, the librarian for the Knights of Favonius. Now, what's so special about these 4 characters? Well, in the ad, which is probably still there on the Google Play Store, all of them were standing together, and there was this castle in the background. That alone intrigued me. That got me hooked. So I said, yes, I am going to play this game. And then, when I started the game, I could not believe the beauty of the surrounding area. I remember this is where I started. And just looking out at the ocean, how serene it was. It was just so beautiful. And I had this weird little fairy character who I knew nothing about. And she followed me all the while, talking in this sweet little voice, directing me. I mean, she didn't do much, but she helped me to find my way to Mondstadt. I remember going right here and just looking out at what I consider to be such a beautiful scene. And that's where the journey started. I would meet Amber, and later on I would meet Lisa and Kaya. And I will continue to play this game because I love the characters. But I can't say that I don't understand the complaints, because I do. I mean, after 3 years, it would be nice if we were treated to something a little more than 10 intertwined fates during Lantern Rite and 10 intertwined fates during Anniversary, when the new game, Honkai Star Rail, gets 10 intertwined fates each patch. If I had to say what we should get during Lantern Rite, I would say it would be 10 intertwined fates each day for 7 days. That's a total of 70 wishes. Because this stuff, Hero's Wit, Mystic Enhancement Ore, more. That stuff we can get easy by doing ley lines. We can even go into our Serenity pot and get that stuff. It just, by now, it doesn't feel like, after this long, that this is a significant fortune that found us. It feels lackluster compared to what the new game, Honkai Star Rail, is being given out each patch. And yes, like I said, I know there are different project managers for different games, but I'm gonna guess that there's still somebody somewhere that makes the final decision of who gets what in each game. And that's all I have to say about the May Fortune Finds You. This paper theater in Lantern Rite 2024, it's not new. I remember it from the previous Lantern Rite. This is just a rerun of a past event. Nothing new to see here. It's a shame that they couldn't come up with something original. I mean, paper theater is fun, but it's also it's not extremely fun. It's just, not my cup of tea. Yeah, I did it in the previous Lantern Rite. I was like, okay. Yeah. I hope we don't get this again, because I really didn't like it. However, we've got paper theater once again. Oh my gosh. Seriously? And there ain't nothing you can't do? I'm in the United States. West Virginia, to be precise. And I don't speak like that. My gosh, who do you have on the localization part of Genshin Impact? That sounds horrible, to use the word ain't. It's not a conjunction of any known word. Now, if you had this man saying, and there aren't nothing you can't do, well, that would be a little bit better, but it still wouldn't sound great. Because aren't is a conjunction of the two words are and not. So I'm going to read that with are not included. I heard you two were the best of the best, and there are nothing you can't do. See, that still sounds bad. So it should have been written like this. I heard you two are the best of the best, and there isn't anything you can't do. That would have sounded much better. My gosh, whoever wrote that, in my opinion, needs brushing up on their localization. Or at least go back to high school. Or middle school for that matter. That just makes me cringe reading this. And this is part of the, I forget the name. The event with, Gaming. You know. Anyway. That's, something else about this year's Lantern Rite that doesn't sit well with me. In addition to other stuff that I've already mentioned. Again with the word ain't? Oh, what's going on here? Why can't whoever's writing this, in my opinion, just might not know that there is a word called isn't. It's a conjunction of is and not. It's spelled ISN''T. Rapport isn't easy to build. That sounds a whole lot better than rapport ain't easy to build. It makes this man sound like a redneck. Or something. And this is a man in leeway. Seriously? The writer goes from using bad grammar, I'm referring to the word ain't, to using a slang term. It's just it's a lazy way of saying the word jealous. You two are so close, I'm starting to get a bit jelly. The only reason I know that this means jealous is because I heard that about a year ago and thought, who in the world thought up to use jelly for jealous? That sounds so stupid. And I maintained that opinion ever since. Oh gosh. The writer of this specific event needs to be put in a different department. It's not, the writer needs, the person who wrote that needs to be put in a department where they don't use words like jelly when they mean jealous. For crying out loud, Miholia, you're a $1 billion or more company? You can afford someone that knows what they're doing. Or at least writes like they know what they're doing. Alright, this is the final part of this video, I believe, regarding the events of 4.4. As we all know, this was Lantern Rite, this which is the equivalent of Chinese New Year. And I have to say that this year's Lantern Rite, even though I'm an American, I've enjoyed Lantern Rite ever since it came out. But this year's Lantern Rite in 2024, it felt really bad. First of all, the events. This was about delicacies. About food. It was okay, but and it wasn't even actually about food. It was more like it was like the paper theater, I think, that we had in Lantern Rite in 2023. It was like a rehashing of that, so it wasn't anything really special. Then there was oh heck, I can't even remember exactly what this was. That's how it wasn't very memorable. And this one, I honestly don't remember. Some of it seemed to be a little bit difficult for me since I play on a mobile phone. But that wasn't the worst part of Lantern Rite in 2024. This was, without a doubt, in my opinion, pretty darn bad. Xingqiu's new skin. Now, why is this bad? Well, just take a close look at him. His shorts are white. His top half is navy blue with shades of a lighter blue. I mean, you might think that's cool because Xingqiu is a Hydro character. But look at the back of his outfit. It reminds me of a peacock. And there's one other character that is exactly like this. And everybody who will watch this know who I'm talking about. This character, Farina. Now, right now, she's doesn't have her white shorts, but when she switches her Fontanian power, whatever it is, I still don't quite understand it myself. One's Panamunya, or another one's Osia, I can't pronounce them. But regardless of that, look here in the back of Farina. She looks like a peacock as well. I mean, to me, it seems like the developers at Hoyoverse, they literally copied and pasted Farina's outfit onto Xingqiu. Because, see, he has the same type of tail of train, even though it's not that long. So that's why I have not claimed this outfit, nor will I claim it, because I don't want it. It just screams Fontaine. Now I know that we're currently in the Fontaine series, but in the first 3 Lantern Rites, 2021, 2022, 2023, has been all about Liyue. The other nations never interfered at all with Lantern Rite. Heck, the Sumeru cast didn't even come to Liyue in 2023. But, oh, it gets even worse, in my opinion. At the end of the Lantern Rite story, in comes characters from Fontaine so that they can be part of 2024's Lantern Rite. Navia, Clorin, Monsieur Nouvelette, and Farina. But before that, these first 3 parts of the story aren't even about Lantern Rite. Oh yes, Lantern Rite is mentioned here and there, but these 3 parts are about one individual in particular. Well, I don't even need to do that because, sadly, I have him. Those 3 parts are about this kid. This self-centered and selfish kid. Oh, I feel so sorry for him. He disagreed with his dad, so he ran away from home and decided that he's just going to live on his own now since he can't get along with his dad. I hate to say it, but that is so unoriginal. I went through that same phase in my life when I was that age. I didn't run away from home, but I got mad with my parents, argued with my parents. But you know what? In the end, we resolved everything. He resolves the problem by running away and not facing up to his issues. So this year's Lantern Rite 2024 was a disappointment. It was also a disappointment because I got his first 2 constellations, which I didn't want to begin with. I was really hoping to get Noelle to C6, but I only got enough to get her to C4. And I haven't used her in a long time because she's extremely difficult for me to build because she scales with defense, and it's very difficult for me to get good pieces that are all defense and at the same time roll a good amount of crit rate and crit damage, because this is what she has. Yeah, I know that's really bad. Someday I'm going to try to fix that. But this year's Lantern Rite 2024 did not feel like Lantern Rite. It did not feel like a celebration of Chinese culture at all. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion on it. Hopefully, Lantern Rite in 2025 will be written better. You know, there's another reason that I was so turned off by the fact Gaming was part of the first 3 acts of the Lantern Rite story, because he's a brand new character that nobody ever heard about before. And yet, he gets center stage here in Lantern Rite. Now, we go back a year, 2023. That's when Yao Yao came out. When the Sumeru patch was in progress. Now, it might be my memory, but I don't remember her getting that much of a mention in 2023's Lantern Rite at all. I think she had a few scenes here and there, but I don't remember her having much in Lantern Rite during 2023. I might be wrong, because, like I said, my memory might be, a little bit fuzzy on that, so I'm sorry if I am wrong. But it just felt like this year Lantern Rite was all about him and not about the rest of the Leeway cast. I've heard that some of the other characters, such as Beidou, Ningguang, Xiangyun, Zhang Yunjin, and Yanfei, could be seen in Lantern Rite, but it's like they were placed in a very far distance to where their images were blurred. Because I never saw them in Lantern Rite. I saw Keqing and Ganyu and Shenhe, but they're the 5 stars. And yes, I did see Yao Yao and Chi Chi. I thought that was a very cute scene with those two. So that was a highlight for me concerning Lantern Rite. But I'm sorry, this year is just, it was really, in my opinion, it was a really poorly written celebration patch. And I'm not even gonna, talking about the rewards that the players get. No. I'm talking about the writing of Gaming's character. I'm talking about the writing of the Lantern Rite story as a whole, making Gaming the focus of the first 3 acts of the story. That was just, shameful. That seemed shameful to me. That he was the focus. Yes, like I said, there were other characters in the Lantern Rite story in 2024, but he was the main focus. And there was one part of this year's Lantern Rite that I did enjoy, even though she wasn't a big part of Lantern Rite this year. Zhang Yun. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right or not. I did her story quest before Lantern Rite started. And my gosh, I grew to love this character. I was a little bit sad that I was a little bit frustrated, well, not sad, but frustrated that I couldn't wish for her, because I've already committed myself to a different character. One that I would like to have because he offers a great amount of utility that I think would be beneficial. But this lady right here, even though she's brand new, she's had a few scenes in Lantern Rite 2024. it was all about, following after Gaming. And it was her doing that actually got Gaming and his father talking. So that was, that was okay that she was included, but I can see why the writers did not give her a big part in Lantern Rite, because she already had her own story quest, which I think was exceptional. Her story quest is the best one that I have seen in a very long time. Those are my thoughts on Lantern Rite 2024, patch 4.4. I don't mean to offend anyone in of the writers or the developers. That's just how this year's Lantern Rite struck me. I hope that Lantern Rite in 2025 will be a lot better. And that if you come out with another character, that you don't write them like Gaming. Now, there's one thing that I've found to be very interesting about Gaming. Is he can do his plunge and it eats up his HP. But he gets to a certain point, his HP gets to a certain point where it will not drain any longer, but that's where that's to the point where he can be one shot. An enemy can take like one smack at him and boom, he's dead. But he cannot die from his plunging. So that makes him kind of weird in my opinion. Okay, that's all I have to say regarding Lantern Rite 2024. I'll see you on the next one. Please do subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss any uploads. And please do leave your comments down below if you agree with me or don't agree with me. That's fine. I don't mind people who disagree with me. See you in the next one.